When, disappearing, from our hemisphere, the world's enlightener vanishes, and day on all sides wasteth, suddenly the sky, erewhile irradiate only with his beam, is yet again unfolded, putting forth innumerable lights wherein one shines. Of such vicissitude in heaven I thought, as the great sign, that marshalleth the world and the world's leaders, in the blessed beak was silent, for that all those living lights, waxing in splendor, burst forth into songs, such as from memory glide and fall away. Sweet love! That dost apparel thee in smiles, how lustrous was thy semblance in those sparkles, which merely are from holy thoughts inspurred. After the precious and bright beaming stones, that did ingem the sixth light, ceased the chiming of their angelic bells, methought I heard the murmuring of a river, that doth fall from rock to rock transpicuous, making known the richness of his spring-head, and his sound of cistern, at the fretboard, or of pipe, is, at the windhole, modulate and tuned, thus up the neck, as it were hollow, rose that murmuring of the eagle, and forthwith voice there assumed, and thence along the beak issued in form of words, such as my heart did look for, on whose tables I inscribed them. The part in me, that sees, and bears the sun, in mortal eagles, it began, must now be noted steadfastly, for of the fires, that figure me, those, glittering in mine eye, are chief of all the greatest. This, that shines midmost for pupil, was the same, who sang the Holy Spirit's song, and bare about the ark from town to town. Now doth he know the merit of his soul impassioned strains by their well-fitted guerdon. Of the five, that make the circle of the vision, he who to the beak is nearest, comforted the widow for her son. Now doth he know how dear he costeth not to follow Christ, both from experience of this pleasant life, and of its opposite. He next, who follows in the circumference, for the overarch, by true repenting slack the pace of death, now knoweth he, that the degrees of heaven alter not, when through pious prayer below today's is made tomorrow's destiny. The other following, with the laws in me, to yield the shepherd room, passed o'er to Greece, from good intent producing evil fruit, now knoweth he, how all the ill, derived from his well-doing, doth not helm him aught, though it have brought destruction on the world. That, which thou sayest in the under bow, was William, whom that land bewails, which weeps for Charles and Frederick living. Now he knows how well is loved in heaven the righteous king, which he betokens by his radiance seeming. Who in the erring world beneath would deem, that Trojan Ripheus in this round was set fifth of the saintly splendors? Now he knows enough of that, which the world cannot see, the grace divine, albeit e'en his sight reach not its utmost depth. Like to the lark, that warbling in the air expatiates long, then, trilling out his last sweet melody, drops satiate with the sweetness, such appeared that image stamped by the everlasting pleasure, which fashions like itself all lovely things. I, though my doubting were as manifest, as is through glass the hue that mantles it, in silence waited not, for to my lips what things are these, involuntary rushed, and forked a passage out, whereat I marked a sudden lightning in new revelry. The eye was kindled, and the blessed sign no more to keep me wondering in suspense, replied, I see that thou believest these things, because I tell them, but discernst not how, so that thy knowledge waits not on thy faith, as one who knows the name of thing by rote, but is a stranger to its properties, till others' tongue reveal them. Fervent love and lively hope with violence assail the kingdom of the heavens, and overcome the will of the Most High, not in such sort as man prevails o'er man, but conquers it, because he is willing to be conquered, still, though conquered, by its mercy conquering. Those, in the eye who live the first and fifth, cause thee to marvel, in that thou beholdst the region of the angels decked with them. They quitted not their bodies, as thou deemst, Gentiles but Christians, in firm-rooted faith, this of the feet in future to be pierced, that of feet nailed already to the cross. One from the barrier of the dark abyss, where never any with goodwill returns, came back unto his bones. Of lively hope such was the meed, of lively hope, that winged the prayers sent up to God for his release, and put power into them to bend his will. The glorious Spirit, of whom I speak to thee, a little while returning to the flesh, believed in him, who had the means to help, and, in believing, nourished such a flame of holy love, that at the second death he was made sharer in our gamesome mirth. The other, through the riches of that grace, which from so deep a fountain doth distil, as never I created saw its rising, placked all his love below on just and right, wherefore of grace God opt in him the eye to the redemption of mankind to come, wherein believing, he endured no more the filth of paganism, and for their ways rebucked the stubborn nations. The three nymphs, whom at the right will thou beheldst advancing, were sponsors for him more than 1,000 years before baptizing. Oh, how far removed, predestination! Is thy root from such as see not the first cause entire, and ye, O mortal men? Be wary how ye judge, for we, who see our Maker, know not yet the number of the chosen, and esteem such scantiness of knowledge our delight, for all our good is in that primal good concentrate, and God's will and ours are one. So, by that form divine, was given to me sweet medicine to clear and strengthen sight, and, as one handling skillfully the harp, attendant on some skillful songster's voice bids the chords vibrate, and therein the song acquires more pleasure, so, the whilst it spake, it doth remember me, that I beheld the pair of blessed luminaries move. Like the accordant twinkling of two eyes, their beamy circlets, dancing to the sounds.